Hi, this is Snake Eyes Lifestyles Limited. I've got my SUV here. I'm getting ready to change oil on it. I didn't change it yesterday like I was going to say I was going to do it, but here it is. It's a 2013 Nissan Rogue, and I got it ran up on some ramps. So I'm getting ready to change oil. Let me see if I can go underneath the vehicle. I'm going to show you a little bit under the bottom. I've got a creeper that I bought at Harbor Freight. Let me go underneath here. I don't know if I could show you. I'm going to have to probably throw these in. But I'm going to show you underneath here where the drain plug is. But the filter, let's see here. See if I can turn her around. Here's where the drain plug is. Let's see if I can get it straightened up. Right here is the drain plug on the motor, and then over here is where they keep the oil filter. Let me see if I can get it situated here and show you. Which I didn't know it was in behind there, but I found it. It's right there. You can, if you can see. So I got to change it out. So I've got this creeper, works out really good, but I'm gonna change the oil in it. Let's see here. I'll set my tripod up here. I've got a tripod, and you guys can watch. But so I'm gonna go underneath. I'm gonna try to get the oil filter off and start draining it first. Well, I could probably drain oil first, then do the oil filter. But I'm gonna go underneath it. I think it takes a 19 millimeter. I've already got a ratchet to go, so 19 millimeter. So I'm gonna start draining the oil. Let's see here. Got my pan under here. Well, they were wrong. It's not a 19 millimeter. I think that's on the transmission. Oh, that's the transmission. Transmission, my bad. So I've got to figure out what. Let me get this up here closer. I'll get the bring you guys up a little closer so you don't. Let's see. Let me see if I can re-angle. Show a little right there. But yeah, 19's for the transmission. I don't know what I was thinking about, but I'm gonna see what socket it takes. I'm gonna try a 15 millimeter. Seems like it wants to fit, but it's got a little play in it. I'm gonna try the 14 millimeter is what for the oil. So let's see here. I'm gonna loosen it. See if I can. It's on there pretty tight. So it's on there pretty good. I don't know why it's on there so tight. It's been off there for a while, it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil. So what I do when I change oil, I let the engine run for a while to warm up. I've always done this with my vehicles, and I've let the oil warm up, let it warm up almost normal, and then I put it up on the ramps, and then I'll drain it. once I get it drained all out of the oil pan, drained all out to its dripping, then I'll put the oil plug back in. Then I'll go over to the oil filter, which the oil looks pretty good shape. I mean, it's nasty, but oil gets nasty anyway. But I'll lay this down here, put my oil drain plug. But let me see here. I've got a wrench. I've got this wrench, but I don't like this wrench. I can't find my other wrench. This one's got a bend in it. I tried to change it when I had my truck. I've got the belt type, but I can't find them. I've got a larger one and a smaller belt type that's got like a belt, and you droop it over and tighten, pull, unloosen or tighten. And I can't find them where I put them. I misplaced them. But I'm gonna let this drain the oil on down. Should be only under like at 4.8 quarts is all it should be in it. But I know it's got less than that because when I checked the dipstick, it was about a half a quart down, so, or a little under a half a quart down. I'll let this drain down. Let me check, I'm gonna check up on top. These creepers, I'm telling you, I've got to get me, I've got towels here to the left of me. I've got these blue towels, they're really good. I've got plenty of these. I'm gonna use me a couple of these. So, but I got this creeper the other day, and at Harbor Freight, and it's real dandy. It works pretty good. Trying to get the oil off my hands so I can, when I get up. But I'll show you my creeper. You can lay your towels here or whatever. It's got little slots here. I just lay my towels there if you want to. And it's got the little headrest. But there's some of my change. I'll just leave it in there. It's gonna fall back out of my pockets. I didn't clear the change out of my pockets, but it's almost to drip under there. And I've got my cap loosened up right here, and let that pull air back through and pull all the oil out. But yeah, I'm going to try to get that. Let me lower the camera tripod down. I'm going to try to get that oil filter off next. I'll lay me extra towels right there on my socket thing so I don't get oil everywhere. Let that drain for a minute. I've got to get my other oil filter right behind me. This is the oil filter that I got. I'll show you my oil filter here. Here's my oil filter. Well, they've got it sealed in a little plastic lip on it. I've got to take my finger and slice across it or something. There we go. I think that'll let it open. Oh yeah. I've got me I've got the XG6607. I don't know if you can see that. 20,000 mile frame. See the hose on the inside right here for the return, for the oil to go in and then come back out? They're like double the size, or maybe more than double size hose for that. For the Mobile One, I didn't like it. They were like half the size of this. So that wouldn't let a lot of oil go in and filter back to pump up to your motor. So I got this Fram one for like $10 or $11. I can't remember the price. Maybe it's $9 or $10. I can't remember. I know it was cheaper than the Mobile One. And it's a 20,000 mile oil filter. Wait just a sec. I'll set it down here. And I'll show you the oil I'm using. I'm going to use the Mobile One Extended Performance High Mileage, about 75,000. This vehicle's got 135,000, so that protects up to 20,000, but I'll be changing before the 20,000, the oil filter and that. So this is the oil I got to put back, but it's supposed to have 4.8 quarts, so I'm just going to leave a little bit, probably down here in the bottom, on the below this mark, maybe halfway down. And then, because you don't want to overfill it. It says not overfill the motor. So, I'm going to go back underneath. I'm going to keep my bag. I'll put my old filter in this, and I'm going to put it in the bag. And then it'll be sealed so I don't get oil everywhere once I drain the oil out of the old filter. So, I'm going to try to go back underneath here. I'm going to tighten it. I'm going to go ahead, probably just go ahead and put my, oil plug back on. I really don't want to have two things draining and getting it all over me, so I usually like to take the oil filter, let it drain, and then take the oil filter, but where it's located, I can't do both without making a mess, so I'm not making a mess on this concrete. I've had odor spills before where I've had problems, so what I'm going to do is, it's pretty well down to a drip, so let me turn this around here a little bit. You can't really see that much, but it uses a 14 millimeter socket. It's down to a drip. I'm good with that, so I'm going to go ahead and put the drain plug back in there. It's just wiping it off pretty good. Make sure it's cleaned. Then I'm gonna put wipe that off a little bit. Hopefully it tightens back right. It should. It seems to be all right. Let me just give it a little torque. Just a little torque, so I'm gonna give it. It's tight. Just long enough to don't back off, vibrate, or whatever come off. Okay. I'm gonna slide this over. Since I'm done with that, I don't need my wrenches. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put these back in here so I don't lose them or roll around on them all the time here. So while I'm doing the oil filters. So I'm just gonna slide them out of the way. I don't need them no more. I'm gonna lay this filter down so I don't get dust in it. Lay it on its seals or on the gasket part of it. Always make sure the gasket's there too. So when you take the old one off, you'll have to make sure the old one's off. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna see if I can do it by hand, which I won't think I can do it by hand. I think it's gonna be, oh God, I hate where that filter's located. That filter's in a bad spot. I don't like the spot where that filter's at. Let me use my towel. I'm gonna slide up in behind that plastic piece. Let's see. Oh, it's coming off of my hand, I think. It's on there pretty tight. I don't know when they last changed oil, so I didn't get no record. Looks like a frame on there. It might be tightening. It's lefty, righty tighty, lefty loosey, so I might be going tight a little bit. Yeah, I gotta loosen it left. Left loose, righty tighty. So it's starting to come down. Let me see here. I've got to use two hands to hold that flat back. So I'm gonna try to get it off here without making a mess. I've got to hold that little flap thing that covers the oil filter. Let it drain what oil it can drain out. Hopefully it's not as messy as I'm thinking it is. It's running across that cross member or whatever underneath the the wheel next to the cross member. It's like a cross member. It's made pretty solid underneath here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Back all the way back through there, pretty solid. A little rusty on spots, on rust. That's going to be normal on something 8 years old. Let's see here. Let me loosen a little bit more so I can get all that oil. I'm going to see what kind of filter they put back. They might have put a filter, they might have used a 20,000 mile oil filter. It looks like about the same type of, nah, this is gold. This one's gold. 20,000 synthetic. I didn't like I said, the holes on the center of that with the orange you see is bigger. It's like double the size of the Mobile 1, so I got it. I've got this Fram one. I may use just a little bit of that old oil for the seal. I hate using old oil, but since it's in a bad spot, I'm just going to put a little old oil around it. Around the seal, the gasket part of it. It just needs a little on there. So, no big deal. It ain't like it's going to hurt anything. That'll keep it on there. I usually take some of the fresh oil and put on it, but since I've got to put the new one back on, I'm just going to use that. I use that little bit of old oil. No big deal. So I'm going to drop that down. I got gloves, but that's all right. I'll just use them. I've always used, let's see what kind of filter that they used. I don't know what kind of filter yeah, it's Fram. It's a Fram oil filter, but I guarantee it ain't a synthetic. I'm going to use synthetic. I'm going to use the synthetic one, and I'm going to use that synthetic Mobile 1 extended performance 20,000 mile oil. But I've watched some YouTube videos on a guy. He used it the same thing, extended 20,000. He said he had 15,000 miles, but every vehicle's different. This is a 4-cylinder, but he went 15,000 miles within a year, and he said looked like there was still life on the oil. And he said he pretty well backs the 20,000 mile oil, but made very different vehicles. I think his might be a 6-cylinder. I'm not for sure. I can't remember. But it's all how hard that motor works too. So what I'm going to do here is, it's already drained pretty well. I'm going to try to wipe off some of this oil here so it don't drip down on me. Still coming from that filter. I've got to get in behind that plastic piece. I think, let me see if always make sure underneath that old filter's on there, which this one's got the old filter, you can see it. The old filter, well, the old filter seal gasket going around here. Still on there. You don't want to have it sticking to your block. If it sticks on the other and you put your new one on, it'll blow out the oil, blow out the old gasket, so you'll dump all kinds of oil out of your motor. I've done that one time before with my other SUV, and I had to turn the engine off, go back at it, and make sure I had to take the oil filter off and then put it back on, take the old gasket off, put the filter back on, tighten it up, and then go back up and add some oil. Because it probably lost a half a quart of oil when it done there. Maybe more than that. I think I lost more than that. So I like this little creeper. It works pretty good. I've got to reach in behind this flap. I call it a flap. And I'm going to run my towel in here, wipe off around the where the gasket goes, clean all that old oil off. Wipe it in there a little bit. They recommend not using the red cloth that I got because it gets particles. This blue cloth is doesn't really leave anything on there, so it's a lot better. And I'm just going to wipe all that old oil off around here so it don't drip. I'll probably have to get me another blue towel. which I got another one right here to the side. So I went ahead and I'll sit it back in that little tray. You don't have to sit it in that tray, actually just sit it to the side. For me, it's just easier to sit it over there out of the way. And what I'm gonna do is put the new filter on. Let's slide this back. Take a look. What I'm gonna do is I'll just lay this red rag here because it's dropping a little bit of oil. I'm gonna try to take a peek back in behind there. Let's push this on out. I'll have to get that out from under there. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do with that once I get situated. Yeah, it looks pretty clean, looks good. I wiped all around it, so I'm gonna hold this open. I'm gonna wipe that old oil again, make sure it's all good and clean up there around that gasket, where the old gasket went. On the old filter, I meant, where the gasket was. Wipe that off a little bit. Clean that really good. Then I'm gonna put the other oil filter. I don't put no oil in this filter. It'll pump through once you put the oil in. So I'm just going to hand tighten it back. Since it's a small filter, really small filter, I'm just going to take my hand and the motor's cooled down, so it's cool outside. I'm just going to hand tighten it because I don't want to put too much torque on that because it's not going to back off, especially when I tighten it. It come off with hand. That's why I'm putting it back with hand. So I could probably try to, let me see, just take this wrench. I don't think it's going to fit. I could probably try it. I don't think it'll fit this one socket, or the oil filter. I could just try to give it a little turn maybe. I wish I could find my other style filter wrench, oil filter wrench. I just don't think it's going to work. This is not going to work. So this one here is no good for me now. It's on there by hand. The engine's cooled down the block. I can feel no heat on it. So I'm just going to go with it like this. I don't think that's going to, even if the motor heats up, it only probably get a little tighter. I don't think it'll swell and get a little tighter. So I'm not going to worry about that. So that takes care of that. So now I've got to come back out here. Oh, I'm getting oil everywhere. I'll just leave this red rag here. Let it lay here. And catch whatever little oil that gets on the, keep from getting on the concrete. So I'm gonna come back out from under there here. Let me get up. I got more towels. I'm just gonna lay them over here. Get myself up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my oil, which, let me turn down the camera here so you guys can see. I'm gonna go ahead and paper out. What I'm gonna do is get my oil filter. I'm really anal on keeping these filters clean. Oh God, I'm spilling a little bit of oil here. Getting excited here. It's only fresh oil coming out anyway. I usually put a towel over it like this and put one down inside. One of these towels, blue towels. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put about, I'm not putting the whole 5. I'm not going to put the whole 5 quarts in. I like to clean around this too. And once I add all the oil in, I'm going to wipe out around the top of that neck too. But clean that out pretty good. Like to have everything pretty clean. So, it's got a lot of gunk in this one. It's all right, I wipe it out real good. No big deal. Wipe it off real good and then sit it down here. And I'm going to almost add almost all the 5 quarts in it. Right here, I got the quart right here. And this is right here, what it says right here. It covers like the Nissan oil. I don't think you can see that, but it covers from N1. It covers from like N1 or whatever grade oil it takes. ILSAC GF68, API, SP, and then SN plus, SN, and SM. So it covers basically all the oils for 5W30. That's what you want to make sure you put back in your vehicle. So let me go ahead. I'm going to add about, I'm probably going to come down to about right here since I don't need to be full 5 quarts. They say as long as you're within the checker on the dipstick down here, which I got pulled up right here. I'll show you that here in a sec. Well, I have to back off the ramps. Let me go ahead and get this broke out. Okay. I'm gonna probably get me another towel since that other one's pretty dirty. I go through a few of these when I change oil. Actually, several of these. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and add the oil. Let's see here. The filter's got it. This oil funnel has a screen in it, which it makes the oil for the oil to go down slower. So what I'm going to do is let it go down in there. Like I said, I'll leave it says 0.2. This is only 4.8 quarts is all it holds. So I'm just gonna leave a couple ounces or whatever, 2 or 3 ounces or whatever, 3 or 4 ounces. And I'm not gonna pull the entire jug in it. The screen on it makes it really slow. So I'm doing that because I don't want dust to go down in or something go over inside of it or whatever. There it goes, it's going down now. 0.2 probably wouldn't be nothing, but I just want to make sure I don't overfill the engine. I think I got enough in it right now. Let's see, I'll let that sit there and drain down. Oh yeah, it's going on down in. But this is how much I got left. I'm I'm gonna try to get it down probably close to this groove right here, like this bottom mark. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm gonna try to get it down about right here. I think that would put it about 4.8, I'm just guessing. Right where it says liter quarts, I'm gonna try to put it about right down here so I can, so it won't overfill. I think I'm almost close right there. I'll let all that drain down the filter, or funnel, not filter, funnel. Okay, it's went down. I'll let that sit there and I'll show you again. Now, if that's level, I don't know if that's pretty level or not, but I could probably go on further down. Point 2 of is probably about down here. That's where I got to go at. I don't want to be too low. I want to be almost as close as to full as I can get. Without going over. I think I'm close now to where I want to be. Yeah, a little over. I don't care to have a little less oil in here, which is all right with me. I think I'm close enough. This is almost level and it's about right up here. It's right above it. I'd rather be up here instead of over on feel. That's almost, that's closer to probably 1 quart's here. So let me set the jug down. That's almost a half a quart. I can pour a little more. I want to be about half that. I think it'll get it right here. I think this right here will do it. Close enough. If that's level, that's about down right to here. So I'm not gonna worry about it. I can always top it off just a little if I have to after I get it off the lift. But that's gonna be about where I'm gonna stop at right here. Keep from overfilling. Probably like to say 0.2 ain't gonna be much. So I'll set the jug down there. I'll let that drain on down in. Get as much as I can out of that funnel. That looks good. So I'm just gonna put take the filter off, or oil funnel off. Then I'm gonna put it back down in here. I usually like to say, I take a towel, wipe down in here, so it can soak in some of the oil that didn't go all down. And I just put it in here like this and put it in a bag. That's how I do it. Everybody's got their own ways of doing it. And then I'll tie my bag back. Then I'll carry it in my bag like this. And I got some towels in here, so if some leaks out, it absorbs into them little blue towels. But I'm just anal like that on mine. I don't know why, but that's just the way I do. Then I can go ahead and put my cap back on. Let me wipe this off around that. Then I can put my cap back down on it. It's tight. Snug it tight. Let's see here. Then I can check. I'll put the dipstick back down on it. Right here's the dipstick. Here's the transmission. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's dark. It's getting shaded out here. I don't have no light on, but that's the little clip they're talking about that you push down on, pops out. I just stick it back down on there. I don't know why people's making a big deal out of that little cat, wanting to turn it around. I just push it back down, let it snap. It's not a big deal. You can take your finger down and push it in. It pops right out. But I'm gonna back it off the ramps. And I'm gonna set the camera down here. And I'm gonna back it off the ramps. Make sure I got my drain pan out of the way. Definitely want to make sure I don't run over that. Well, I'm down off I'm off the ramps. So I'll look underneath for leaks. I'll let it warm up just a little bit, get to a normal temperature, and then I'll shut it off and let it sit, and then I'll recheck my check my oil, and then I'll look underneath for leaks. And if I don't see no leaks underneath, I'm all good once I shut it off. Then I'll just put everything up my ramps. But that was my oil change. It should be almost right at the full. I'll recheck it. If I have to add it to fill it to the level, I can. But if it's just a little bit below the full, I'm not going to worry about it. I could actually go in and pour more in, but I think I'm right real close at being the bottom of that jug. That's about 0.2, I guess. Like I said, they'd rather have it under a little than overfilling it. So that's what I'm going to do. But that's the oil change. I may show you guys, if you're interested, I may show you the transmission change. When I change the transmission fluid, I've got to change the filter. Underneath, there's on the opposite side of the motor where that is, over here on the driver's side, down on the bottom, there's a transmission pan. I've got to drop it, wipe it out, and put the gasket on, a new gasket on, and put the new transmission filter in. And I got to go get one first. I haven't got one yet. I've got the transmission fluid, so I went ahead and got the Castro some type of Castro Transmax or something. It's made for CVTs, all transmissions, but it's a red transmission fluid. But the transmission fluid in this is not real bad yet. It's barely brown. I think somebody's changed it because it looks awful clean. I can show you here on the dipstick once it runs and warms up. Let me see if I can do that. Let me set this camera down here, and I'll show you the transmission fluid while I've got it running here, warming up. It's probably not going to be up to the hot level, but the motor's getting warm. Okay. And I'm going to pull out this, and I'll see if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not. But there's the transmission fluid. You probably can't see it. Yeah, I'm going to end up changing it. So it looks in the safe zone, and it looks pretty clean. So, but it's got a little bit of brown in it. I just wanted to get everything tuned up so I don't have to worry about it or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'll change it out later. I really don't know on that where on the transmission where that's really got to be on there. I know it's got to be on the top line, but where there's no light out here, I don't have my light. I can't really tell. It's showing what's up on the full. Let me check one more time. I got to get it over on the light. It's showing right up on the full mark, so. Yeah, it's showing right on the full mark on the transmission fluid, so. Only thing is I'm gonna change it and put it here in the next, probably within the next week or so or two. Probably change and get it out of there. I don't know how long it's been in there, but it still got a lot of wear left. It's just that, let me see, I'm gonna shut the vehicle off. Turned it off. It's up to normal range on the oil, so now I got to wait to cool it, let it cool down for at least probably 10 or 15 minutes. It's like I said, it's kind of cool outside, but what I'll do is I'll sit here with the hood up and wait about 15 minutes, put all my stuff up, and like I said, I don't think I'll add any more, because if it's below the full mark, I'm not going to worry about it. As long as it's not way down. But I'm going to say it's probably at least going to be just that much down below the full on the dipstick, if it's that much. If it's that much. And that'll be way in the range of almost being full, so. But yeah, you guys have a good one. That's the oil change on my Nissan Rogue. Look underneath. I'll come back out and check again under there and see if there's any leaks. I don't think there's any leaks, so it's all good to go. But you guys have a good one. Give me a likes or thumbs up or whatever likes. And subscribe if you want to. It doesn't matter if you don't. No big deal. But yeah, if you guys like the video or something, just let me know. Or any comments. I appreciate it. I'm going to have to shave. Look at this. Getting this big beard. It's starting to itch me. Woo. But yeah, guys, next time I might show you guys a video, follow up, and do a transmission change in this thing. The air conditioner works too, so it works pretty good in this thing, the air conditioner. The only thing is, like I think I may have said before, this thing's got blue antifreeze. I've never seen blue antifreeze. That's first to me here. And I checked this, took the radiator cap off a couple nights ago, and I did go ahead and change the air filter right here. I just put a fram back. It's what I think was in it. I'm not for sure what was in it, but I took it off and put a fram 40,000 mile. I'll probably change it at 20 or 30,000, maybe, depends on how it looks. But it only takes like, you just pull these little cap flaps off and pull it up, slide it out, put the other one in and slide it back down in. Simple, but it didn't look like it'd been changed for a long time. And this one, I actually had a light on the inside and it went out after I changed the air filter. But I may end up getting a fuel filter I got to get the transmission filter and this gasket, and then I got to get the, I may get a fuel filter and change that too, so. And I don't know what kind of fuel filter. I don't think it's in the tank. I never really checked, but that'd be next projects to do. Fuel filter, transmission change, fluid change, and filter. But yeah, that's all of it, guys. But I just figured I'd show you the oil change on my 2013 Nissan Rogue. It runs pretty good for a 4-cylinder. Like I said, I'll change that transmission as soon as I can change it here within the next week or two. Try to do it within the next couple weeks. Like I said, underneath I'll have to drain the oil, transmission fluid, then drop the little pan down, and then change that filter. But yeah, you guys have a good one. Like I said, just likes or whatever, comment down below. A lot of people get on here to YouTube and they know how to edit everything. I'm just plainly raw on mine because I'm not all into that tech stuff, going in and editing and all that. But sorry to take up too much of you guys' time, but I already see that it's like 46 minutes into this. Takes a long time. But you guys have a good one and stay safe out there and try to stay warm if you're somewhere where it's cold. But have a good day.